Peya, with the exception of a few municipalities in the Rongo region, recently entered stage 4 of the state of emergency in action since March due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. Now, to expand on the relaxed social measures and other factors concerning this next stage, I'm now joined live via Skype by the Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Dr. Peya Mushelenga. A very good evening to you, Minister, and thank you so much for making the time to join us.
Yes, good evening.
Well, of course, we've got a situation now where COVID-19 cases seem to be increasing almost on a daily basis now. And apart from the 3 towns that, of course, then are still, that being Arandis, Swakopmund and Walfish Bay, that have their own sort of lockdown, what other measures or broader solutions is government currently looking at in terms of ensuring then that other high-risk areas are also then catered for?
Well, thank you. First, as you said, these current towns of Arandis, Walfish Bay, and Swakopmund are under lockdown. Now, the law enforcement agencies, people that are supposed to enforce regulations, are required to show their presence in order to ensure that the regulations are being adhered to. Now, with regard to other areas that are being reported, when there are areas that are being reported, the Ministry of Health in particular would continue to implement the response plan for COVID-19 and bring the report periodically as possible to Cabinet so that Cabinet takes appropriate measures as new risks are emerging and as new situations are coming up.
Now, Minister, you mentioned now specifically with regards to some of the measures that government is putting in place, but to sort of alleviate some of the fears that the public might have, is government ready to cope with the situation, considering the rate at which cases are increasing, especially in Walfish Bay and other possible areas?
So far, government is ready because it is closely monitoring the rate at which the pandemic is increasing, and the ministry is putting in place measures, as I said, the response plan for COVID-19, looking at the rate of increment, making sure that as the risk is increasing, we are able to attend to it.
And this, of course, being then at a speedy rate, considering the rate at the increase of the cases.
Excuse me?
Hi, Minister, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Yes, but the question being, how quickly is government ready to act? Yes, the plans are in place, but how quickly is the government ready to enact then those specific plans?
Well, you know, the ministry, there's a committee that meets daily looking at these things. And as soon as new reports are coming, they are providing the response to what is emerging.
Mm-hmm. Now, briefly, Minister, just before we let you go, do we know the number of communities that may have not benefited from government's efforts or since stage 1 of the lockdown with regards to some of the relief measures? And if there are, what plans does government have to attend to these specific communities?
As you know, the relief measure that were rolled out was the 750 that was paid out to those that have applied. And the ministry received applications and reviewed also those applications, those that qualify and those that do not qualify. And those that have not qualified were requested to make their appeal to the ministry. Now, as to whether we know the number, there might be people that are affected, but they may not have applied, or they may have applied and they may not have provided sufficient information. It's really not an easy thing to tell until you have all those that are supposed to apply having register that these ones applied and these ones were not attended to.
Minister, unfortunately, that's all the time we have this evening, but thank you so much for making the time once again to join us.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Well, there you have it. That was the Minister of ICT, Dr. Peya Mushelenga, touching on some of the factors concerning the country's move to stage 4 of the state of emergency regulations.